What's up, everybody? It is time for a slightly different video, but slightly not, book haul! Before I start this video, I want to give a special shout out, thank you to my Muddy Cold patrons. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to become a Muddy Cold patron, the link is in the description below. I also put it at the end of the video. Also, if you haven't done so already, because I know more than half of you that have been lurking around my little channel have yet to subscribe. I don't know what the holdup is. You might as well commit to it because I post stuff here on Wednesdays or Thursdays, and sometimes I sneak some extra videos in the week. And you'll never know unless you're subscribed. So, full disclosure, I have technically already filmed this video before, and silly me, I accidentally erased the wrong video off my SD card. So I only have about half or less of the original video. So I'm totally just reshooting this whole thing. I thought I'd just, be completely honest and tell you guys what the deal is. So if I'm not as enthusiastic or surprised or whatever, I'm sorry. I already filmed this video yesterday. So I'm doing this again because I really want to share my book hauls, because I know a lot of people out there that watch my videos are bibliophiles just like myself, and I like sharing what I'm reading. So if you're interested in checking out stuff that I'm currently reading or have on my list to be read, or I started reading but I'm putting it on hold or whatever, I'll be putting my anime list, my manga list, from my animelist.net down in the description, and also my Goodreads account, and you can see what I'm currently reading. Sometimes I get to share that in my monthly favorites, but lately it's been a little bit slow because I haven't been reading like I should, so hopefully I'll be rectifying that really soon, especially for my anime club that I run at my job. So this book haul video, if you couldn't tell, is from several different bookstores. So I redistributed the piles of books into the stores that I got them from to redo this video. So once again, I'm going to start with a non-manga item. Not all of these are manga. A couple of them are either a comic book or a novel. So let's start off with a comic book I got from Half Price Books when I was going to visit my family. So it is the Walking Dead Compendium 1. I've already read this before, not specifically this copy. I checked it out from work and read it, and I have Compendium 2 and 3. I think I still need to get number 4, which is the end of it. So I just wanted to complete the collection. So buying it from Half Price Books was a good steal. I don't know if you can see the price on it. I got it for about $30 or so. They have a lot of good used books, and they had a nice selection of comic books at the one that I went to. I believe it was in Kansas City. So I'm still working on getting through Compendium 2. Maja is way ahead of me as far as reading this lovely series. We both really, well, I think her love for Walking Dead has kind of faded a little bit, but we both used to be really big Walking Dead fans. She's already read all the comic books. She's read a couple of the Woodbury Governor novels that I have. I'm still need to obtain, I think, 2 others. I think there's 4 in total. She's fallen off a bit with the show, so she hasn't been keeping up with it, even though I've been trying to get her back in, because it has gotten a little bit interesting, at least where I'm at. I think I'm on season 10 or so on the main series. I've also been watching Fear the Walking Dead, and I have yet to start World Beyond the Walking Dead. There's just so many spin-offs, but obviously I still love it, as you can see from like my Funko Pops here. So looking forward to chugging through the rest of the comic book and finally like watching like the YouTube video comparisons of some of the characters in their comic book form and their TV form. So that is Walking Dead Compendium #1. I also bought a CD from Half Price Books, but I do not have it in my pile. It's just the best of album or whatever by Korn. I have a digital copy of it, and I wanted a physical copy because honestly I don't own any physical CDs of Korn. And I really like them, and I saw them in concert and stuff, so I figured that's the best album to have of theirs because it has all their, like, all or most of their greatest hits that most people know and love over time. So that's that. Next is a few books from Kinokuniya. I've done a book haul from them before, from the first time I ever went to their store. This was from a different trip I went on with Buenaventura, and I wanted to find a little series called Tin Count because silly me, skipped out on volume 4. So I have every volume 1 through 6 except for number 4. And I'm having the hardest of time finding it for a reasonable price. I don't know if they're going to be republishing it or reissuing it or whatever, but it's very hard to find like a reasonably priced copy of it, or just finding a copy in general. In the end, I did buy a couple things, and I try to stick to my rule of no new series. I try to stick to getting series that I've already started and trying to complete them, because honestly, if you look at my manga list on my animelist.net, I'm currently reading, if you count what I'm currently reading and my on hold list, over like 60 different series, and so I'm trying to like cut that down. But as this video continues on, you will notice that I have completely failed on that front, and I bought some series that just really caught my attention. I really just wanted to start. So that's definitely in this small little pile that I have here. First is a series that I talked about in my video about anime I want more of, and it is Dogs, Bullets, and Carnage. It's the last 2 volumes, 9 and 10. For the longest time, it was pretty silent on the updates of this manga series, at least on my anime list, and so I don't know if number 10 actually concludes the story, so I'm really hoping it wraps it up really well. But I'm looking forward to finishing this series. I've been reading it for a very long time, and I really love it, and I feel like it's underrated, and people should definitely check it out. So the series that I don't own, but I just couldn't resist because I was just super excited just to see it in person on the shelves, because I really love the anime so much that I've watched like both seasons, like binged, and I'm looking forward to watching the live action. If I could, I would play the video game. I watched the Chinese adaptation of it, and Bloodmaster 5 also did a first impression review of the first 3 episodes of the anime, and that is Kaiji Gambling Apocalypse. This one's volume 2. You'll see volume 1 a little bit later. But I really, really love this series. I just couldn't resist not owning it myself, so I gave into temptation and purchased it. So, sorry I folded on my no new series deal. Next pile is from Amazon. On my Amazon wish list, I still have quite a few books that are on there. So first I'm going to start off with a novel that I got interested in because I watched the movie and streamed it on Discord, and I really loved the movie. It was recommended by a friend many years ago, and I finally set it into one of the themes for one of the months, and I really loved it. And a different friend told me that the novel is just as good, if not better, than the movie. So this is Snakes and Earrings by Hitomi Kanehara. This is the hardback version. Apparently this used to be from a library, Monmouth County Library, because it has like a barcode for it. It's a very thin book, so hopefully I can like get through it pretty quickly. It doesn't look like I'll have the same problems I had with Goth. I know I haven't really talked about that too much, but eventually I'm going to get around to comparing the Goth novel with the manga with the movie, but that took me a very long time, and it's a thin book. But I still have to find a space for it in my book rotation here at home, but I'm looking forward to diving into it and comparing it to the movie. Movie's great, by the way. Next is a continuation of a series that I owned years and years ago, and I'll definitely have to revisit before I start this one, and it's Drug and Drop Volume 1. It's the continuation of a series called Legal Drug. I guess I can tell you a little bit about, or like read the back. The story of Drug and Drop picks up right where Legal Drug left off. Kazuhaya awakens from a disturbing dream of the sister he had to part from, Kay, covered in blood and clutching him close to her. If it's a case of seeing spirits, there's one young man Kazuhaya and Rukio can go to for advice. The special guest character Clamp fans know from XXX and Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle, Kinuhiro Watanuki. Which is a name that sounds super familiar, but honestly, I have not really delved into many, like, Clamp series. So, I know, XXX is one that's been on my list for a while. Ever since, like, high school, I've heard pretty good things about it, but I have yet to dip my toes into that universe. But I'm looking forward to revisiting these characters from Legal Drug and picking up with Drug and Drop, and hopefully I'll be getting the rest of the volumes. Next is another series that I own and I really love. I've watched both the first and second movie. The second movie is not very good, and I still have to review it, and I love the novel. I feel terrible for waiting so long to continue the manga series because now some of the volumes are ridiculously priced, on Amazon at least, or kind of hard to find, but I started this way back in high school. But it is Battle Royale 6 and 7. I'm looking forward to jumping back into this universe. Most people know about this series. It's a survival game thing with high school students. Most likely I won't have to like go back and reread stuff from the previous volumes because I've watched the movie so many times and the story is really fresh in my mind no matter what. I've even cosplayed one of the characters. That's how much I love this series. So I'm looking forward to getting back into the nitty-gritty blood and gore of Battle Royale. Last in my Amazon pile is Absolute Boyfriend. Apparently this was also from Half Price Books, I guess their account on Amazon. This is the first volume. I'm mostly just filling in some gaps. I obtained, I believe, volume 2 and 3. Is it 2 and 3? Or? Yes, it's in my little basket here. 2 and 3 from my job because it was being discarded. Weeded out from the collection, and then I bought 4 and 5, so now I just need to get volume 6 and I'll be done. According to my Anime List account, apparently I have read 1 through 5, and I just need to finish it off by reading Volume 6, but most likely I'll be rereading 1 through 5 just to refresh my memory, even though, for the most part, I kind of remember the story premise because I did watch the drama, which is what made me interested in reading the manga series. I guess I'll read a little bit of what it's about. Rejected way too many times by good-looking and unattainable guys, Shiriko Izawa goes online and signs up for a free trial of a mysterious knightly lover figure. The very next day, a cute naked guy is delivered to her door, and he wants to be her boyfriend. Has Riko died and gone to heaven? The cute guy turns out to be sweet, smart, a great cook, and lots more. And he looks like $1,000,000, which is what he's going to cost Riko if she doesn't return him in time. So yeah, so he's kind of like, I don't know, for E's sake, like a love doll or like just a non-human boyfriend. I vaguely remember really enjoying the Japanese drama. I think they remade it in Korea as well, but I have not watched it yet. I don't know if they did another version of it in Japan or not, but either way, I don't mind, reliving this very comical story because I think it's really cute. And I don't really read a lot of shoujo, so, I mean, it's nice that so far, I have, a nice mix of stuff in this batch of my haul, because if you've watched my previous book hauls, I normally get a lot of BL and horror stuff, so, hopefully this, shows you my range of stuff I do like to read. Speaking of which, so these are a couple books I got from Books A Million online. This was part of a order of, I think I ordered 6 books, or maybe it was 5. Yeah, it was 5 books. Yeah. But only 2 of them have arrived, and this was months ago. 3 of them were on order or in, I guess they're waiting for the distributor to give them copies, but it has yet to happen. 2 of the 3 books got canceled. 1 is still in this limbo space, which is the 10 Count Volume 4. I don't remember what the other 2 are, even though I just looked it up before I started filming. I think one of them is Dead Man Wonderland 8. Oh yes. Yeah, one of them is Dead Man Wonderland Volume 8, and the other one is Escape Journey Volume 2. So there you go. Your horror and your BL. Going in the realms of the BL, and of course another new series that I really shouldn't have started, but I couldn't resist because I mentioned this also in my anime I want more of because it was only a very short OVA, and I just could not resist the amount of BL selections they have on Books A Million's site. It is Yari-chan Bitch Club. Couldn't resist it. Let me read the description, and I'm sorry, my fam that is watching this and supporting me. At an all-boys boarding school deep in the mountains, hopeless transfer student Takashi Tano joins the photography club, only to learn too late that the club's main extracurricular activity is offering its sexual services to the student body. Now that Tano's surrounded by bitter maces, can this virgin survive a day, much less the whole school year, as part of the school's most spacious club? So, originally, of course, it was in plastic, like most mature manga are, but I let someone borrow it, so I had to bust it out of the plastic. Pun intended. I'm looking forward to diving into this and getting more into this, I guess, universe, since, there wasn't a lot of anime content, which is sad, but apparently it has quite a fan base, from what I can tell, on Instagram, so looking forward to getting more of Yari-chan. Next is another a book continuation of something I own. I also did a first impression video of it, and it's Ani Imo by Haruko Kurimatani. So this is volume 4. I'm pretty close to finishing this series. One thing that I've noticed in my analytics is that the first impression for the series is quite popular, which is kind of strange, but also it's kind of weird also to be reading it because I don't know what Japan's deal is with step-siblings or whatever, but when I first recorded this, I did read the description of this, but I don't know why, because it's volume 4, it's not volume 1. Just go check out my first impression and you'll get the gist of what's going on, but reading the back of it has refreshed my memory of what's going on in it. It's body swapping, so. Last but not least is my biggest haul, which is from Barnes & Noble. These are from different trips, so not actual like vacations, but they're from different trips to the store. I didn't buy these all at once, and some of these I ordered because it's been a while since I've ordered books, and I don't feel bad about ordering books, even though I got tons of books I still need to read, which are like right here in this corner. You can barely see the little basket, but there's a basket here of stuff I need to read too. First is a newer series that I just could not resist, which is My Androgynous Boyfriend by Tomiko. So that's what that looks like. Wako and her androgynous boyfriend don't exactly have the most traditional of relationships. She spends her days working hard in the world of publishing, while he spends his time obsessing over fashion and makeup, all with the goal of making himself beautiful just for her. This romantic slice of life story is about love, relationships, and breaking with tradition. I really like 7 Seas Entertainment stuff, and the premise sound really interesting, and hopefully there's shenanigans and stuff. I'm always for androgyny, if you haven't noticed in my style and stuff, so to have an androgynous boyfriend scenario and I guess this hetero relationship sounded very intriguing and fun, so yeah, definitely had to check this out. Next is another new book. I don't think it's a series, I think it's just a one-shot, but I have read a couple books by this mangaka, Inyo Asano. It is Downfall. I've heard some pretty good comments about this book, so I definitely had to check it out from some YouTubers and stuff. Some stuff I've read from him are Girl on the Shore and Goodnight Pun Pun, which I've done a first impression for both of those, so you can check those out. So maybe I'll do one for this one, because this one's a one-shot, and the other, well, Girl on the Shore is a one-shot as well. Goodnight Pun Pun is a series, which I'm slowly dipping my toes in, and I really shouldn't have started a new series, but that's where we are. So I'm gonna read what this is about. Selling copies is the only thing that matters. So what if your manga series just ended and you have no idea how to start the next one? Your marriage is breaking up, your pure love of manga has been destroyed by the cruel reality of the industry, and nothing seems to fill the sucking void inside you. Find the secret combo for a new hit manga series and everything will be okay, right? Clearly, since you can see it in plastic, it is rated mature. Most of his material, from what I can tell, is for adults, and for very good reason. So far, if it's not obvious, I've enjoyed every manga that Inyo Asano has wrote, so I'm looking forward to definitely checking out Downfall and more of his stuff in the near future, especially Goodnight Pun Pun. Next is another series that I'm adding to my collection. I've been reading this for a while. Also did a first impression of it like years ago and mentioned it in my anime I want more of, which is Gangsta Volume 8. I'm very happy that this manga series is being continued. I don't know if they'll ever pick up the anime again, but I know there was some money issues with one of the companies. I don't know if it was the anime company or the manga, the distributor or not, but Gangsta's a very good series, obviously, because I'm on number 8, and I can't wait to get back into this universe. It's been a very long time since I've read any of these, and in my little basket here, I have volume 7, so I still have to read 7 before I read 8, obviously. Next is Kaiji Gambling Apocalypse Volume 1. So I got Volume 1 from Barnes & Noble and Volume 2 from Kinokuniya. If you have yet to watch the first impression review of it by Bloodmaster5, I'm going to give you a brief little summary from the back of what it's about. One day in your do well, Kaiji Ito's shiftless existence is suddenly rattled by a visit from the Yakuza. Burdened by debt and resentment, he is coerced into gambling his worthless life. As the stakes grow higher and the games become increasingly more bizarre, Kaiji must take his future in his hands. I've already expressed that I greatly love this series, and it easily became one of my, top 5, top 10, favorite series for sure, because it was very addicting. I love survival games a lot. I will always jump on board on any concept that has to deal with survival games, like movies, TV series, manga, novels, comic books. I love survival games. They never get old for me. I really enjoy them, especially when they get really, really creative. I can't even think off the top of my head of any survival games that I've watched that I did not like, so I always, so far, enjoy that concept. Here's a different thing. I don't know if people say GL for girl love, but here's a Yuri series. One of the rare Yuri series that I enjoy. I recently finished the anime. Well, not really recently, but I did stream it and finish it finally. I was trying to take my time a little bit because I wanted to catch up in the manga before I moved forward with the anime, but I really needed to just get it out the way and to watch something else. It is Citrus Volume 3 by Saburota. I think that's how you say that. So I did a very short, brief first impression of this series with 10 count. I just didn't have a lot to say about it, which doesn't really mean a lot because obviously I'm reading volume 3. But it didn't really give me a lot to go with to talk about, but I really wanted to give it a spotlight because I don't really read a lot of Yuri, I don't really consume it a lot, or Shoujo Ai. I have nothing against it, it's just a lot of the time it really panders towards a male audience. But lately I feel just like with yaoi and shonen ai, it has matured over time, which I greatly appreciate that. So this was one that I kind of like, and also, once again, step siblings again. I don't know what's up with that. I still need to read volume 2, but I can immediately go from 2 to 3 now, so. Next is another new series that I just couldn't resist because androgyny, gender bending and stuff. It is Not Your Idol by Aomi Kano, Volume 1. In the wake of an assault, Nina Kamiyama, a former idol in the group Peer Club, shuns her femininity and starts dressing as a boy. At high school, she keeps to herself, but fellow student Hikaru Horiuchi realizes who she is, what secret she is keeping. The shocking drama starts. I like idol groups, and obviously I like gender bending and stuff, so I'm kind of curious what direction this is gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna turn into a trans identity or gender fluid or something type of concept, which would be interesting, but who knows. But I really liked the story sounds very interesting, and I can't wait to dive into it. I don't know how many volumes there are. but starting at 1, we'll see how it goes. Next is another series I've done a first impressions of, which is Aijin Demi-Human. This is volume 7 and 8. I really love this series. I've watched every season. I've even watched the live action movie, which was very good. I don't know if I'm going to watch any of the anime movies because it just seems like it just condenses the series. So for the most part, I'm just trying to like fill in the gap, continue the story that the anime has portrayed through the manga series, because I really enjoy this series. It's been a long time since I've read it, but love Aijin Demi-Human. Next is actually a book club read for my anime club at work. I've been dragging my feet a little bit on it, but now it's forced me to like read it because I felt like, oh, let's read something a little bit different, you know, kind of like, I don't know, Fight the Powers That Be or whatever. That was the kind of mood I was in. I also did a first impression of this as well. Apparently I've done a first impression for a lot of these. It is Prophecy by Tetsuya Tsutsui. This is volumes 2 and 3. There's only 3 volumes in the series, so it's a very short series. Currently I am rereading volume 1 so I can go back so I can read 2 and 3 without missing a beat, because it's been a very long time since I've read volume 1. I'm looking forward to discussing these and watching the live action movie of it as well, so definitely check out my first impression review. Last but not least, we cannot escape the mastery of horror, Junjo Ito with Censor. Did she wander in, or was she drawn in? So mysterious. A woman walks alone at the foot of Mount Sugoku. A man appears, saying he's been waiting for her, and invites her to a nearby village. Surprisingly, the village is covered in hair-like volcanic glass fibers, all shining a bright gold. That night, as the villagers gaze up at the starry sky, countless unidentified flying objects come raining down on them, the opening act for the terror about to occur. For those who are familiar with my manga haul videos, Junjo Ito is the exception to the rule of new series, because all he writes is one-shots, and at this point I am just collecting all of his stuff. I believe he recently put out another book that got published here in America. Can't remember the title of it, but I definitely will be owning it. I don't know if there's another one coming out in the wings, but I still am catching up on his other books that are in my basket over here, which are No Longer Human, Smash, Love Sickness, and Ramina, on Junjo Ito's Cat Diary. Oh, and Dissolving Classroom. Forgot about that one. So I got plenty of Junjo Ito to keep me entertained. If it's like any of his other works that I have read, it's gonna be horrific and weird, and it'll continue to get worse and worse, even though you think it won't get worse, and it'll have a bittersweet ending. He tends to have a pattern so far that I've noticed from like reading Uzumaki and Gyo and Shiver. Yeah, it's the same. But it doesn't get old, because you could never predict what direction that he's gonna go. I also forgot, I do have Tomy. Yeah, that's in the bag in the corner, so it's not in the basket. So, looking forward to just having a mind-bent journey with Censor. But that is everything. That is every book I've bought to date, to right now in this moment, because honestly I'm going to be purchasing just maybe 2, 3, 4 books. Sorry, Books A Million has a sale. If you're a bibliophile, you totally know the struggle of you got all these unread books, and yet you're still tempted to get more, even though you have books that you need to read. Hopefully I'll be back on a good rhythm with my reading. I'm supposed to be reading 30 minutes every day, more specifically at home than at work, because I got stuff here that I need to read as well. If you've read any of these books, let me know what you think. Like, give me your thoughts. What should I be looking out for? And also, if y'all have any suggestions of stuff I should read, even though I don't really need more things to read, but I just want to hear your thoughts on all the books, I guess. Like, am I correct on being excited for some of the newer series that I'm jumping into? Also, feel free to follow me on Goodreads and my anime list, because I do most of the time accept friend requests and follows and stuff. I love exchanging manga and comic books and novels, even though like 2 out of those 3 things I feel a little weird with suggestions because I don't read a lot of them, or I'm a lot slower to reading them. But I love talking books. So thank you for joining me in this book haul. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in another video. Peace.